Welcome back to the Lords of Lore Podcast Network. You're listening to an episode of Unabashed. I'm your host, Matt. I use he, him pronouns. And today, the epic crossover event of the decade, I'd say. Decade is fair, maybe century even. We have Brittany from the Lonelycast joining the show. Hello.
Howdy. My name's
what's up?
Brittany.
Who are you?
Brittany, I use she, her pronouns.
What's going on, everybody?
I do have another podcast.
Yes.
So,
tell people.
It's called the Lonelycast. I do it with my friend Abby, and we just talk about whatever we feel like. There's really no structure.
What was the title of your most recent episode?
Yeah. I don't know. You probably know better than I do.
Yeah. I can't remember.
Abby's in charge of most of the stuff.
Okay. Yeah, but I think topics range anywhere from Taylor Swift to terrible dates, ghosts, fantasy, what was it? Fan fiction that you've written. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. We our most recent episode, we talked about robots for a while. And then our next episode will be about religion. So
oh yes. Yeah. Surely to be an exciting one. I'm excited for it. So yeah, check out the Lonelycast. But today we're not talking about fan fiction. Well, maybe, but we're not talking about maybe ghosts too. I don't know. Maybe this is just an extended
have you watched
episode.
The show?
Yeah. This show, no.
Okay.
I have not. But yeah, we're talking about The Walking Dead. So give me the elevator pitch, because I haven't watched the show, but I vaguely know what it's about. But pretend I don't know anything about it. How would you get me to watch this show?
So, a group of very attractive people, and it's not like a steady group. You know, there's additions, there's deaths. You know, big cast. They're just trying to survive a zombie apocalypse, and you know, there's different types of conflict. So we've got the man versus supernatural, man versus man. There's a little bit of man versus self.
Ooh.
Just anything you need, a little drama between relationships, people, but also like some brain bashing. At some point, a little bit of cannibalism.
Ooh.
Briefly, and there's a tiger.
All types of fetishes, box checking, I guess.
Yeah. And that's kind of the extent. It's just about zombies and the people trying to survive.
Now, does the fact that they're all super attractive play into the story at all, or is that just a bonus?
No, it's a bonus. It's just They're nice to look at. So
nice.
Yeah.
And I know you have said many times on your own podcast you're obsessed with Norman Reedus.
I am.
Did that factor into you initially watching this show, or is that also a bonus or something you picked up as a result of watching the show?
It was picked up during the show, and actually it took a few seasons in for the crush to begin.
Okay. Interesting.
Because his character definitely evolves. He's introduced as this redneck who's kind of an asshole and just to himself. And then as you see him blossom,
yeah. Yeah.
You see he has layers and you're just intrigued.
So it's more like it was less initially a physical attractiveness and became like this is a good guy who's also physically attractive.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now I just like generally the actor and the character, big fan.
Nice. You know what though? I have to tell you this, and I hope it doesn't ruin your interpretation of him.
Oh no.
Anytime I look at him, I'm reminded of like the lead singer from Guitar Hero 3, like those stage animations, because the fucking haircut. I'm sorry I had to do it to you.
Canceled.
If you look up a picture of that guy, and I'm sorry in advance. So how did you get into this show? Like, was it just because people were talking about it all the time, or did you stumble upon it? How was that?
Well, the show started in like 2010, and it's incredibly successful. And I've heard a lot of people talk about it. Like my mom was really into it for a while. And I just couldn't get past the first episode.
Same.
And then I had watched it so many times that I was like, I can't, I'm done. But over quarantine, I was looking for a new show to watch. Mal and I were actually, and we'd both just watched the first episode multiple times trying to get into it. So we're like, why don't we just start on the second episode? And we did, and then we got really into it and like binged it. So
wow, I didn't know this was like a recent thing for you. I thought this was like wow, okay, that's cool. Are you caught up on the show?
Yeah, caught up to what they're like posting. Like it's YouTube. Well, it's coming out now. We're just now catching up with. So
it's still going.
Yeah, this is their final season. It's season 11 or 10.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I know there's separate shows, right? There's Fear the Walking Dead and then just The Walking Dead.
Yeah, they're not very good.
So the spin-off shows aren't good. Okay.
They're like, it's like they're just corny and less about zombies and more about like family and relationship drama.
Family.
And I'm in it for the brain bashing for sure.
Right. And I heard there was a movie in the works. Is that true? Do you know?
Allegedly. So there's I'm assuming that people know that there's spoilers if they're watching this.
Yes,
right?
And if they didn't, they do now.
Yeah. So there's the main guy, Rick. He's the cop. Right. So you don't want to like him, but you do kind of like him. He's a decent guy. But he like gets killed off, but more so just disappears.
Like in a helicopter, right?
He gets taken away in a helicopter, but like there's this big explosion and everyone thinks he's dead, and there's like a season or two without him. But I guess he's coming back this season, and then they're going to make a movie about what happened in the in-between.
Oh, that's very interesting. I like that.
And then I think they're working on another spin-off show with Daryl, who's Norman Reedus's character, and then Carol, who are their like best friends in the show. Cool.
Danae Guerrero, I can't remember her name, but she plays Michonne.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Michonne. She has a sword. She's really cool.
That was like when I was like, should I watch this show? Is because like I saw her. And there's like one scene where she's just like kicking ass in the forest, and I was like, oh, it's pretty cool. But I couldn't dive into it.
No, she's definitely a great part of the show.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you said brain bashing is up there on you things you enjoy about it. But overall, as a series, what is the thing you love most about the show?
I just think it's overall good. I mean, there's definitely some slow bits. I think any show that goes longer than like 3 seasons, there's going to be parts where you're like, come on, let's move it along. But a lot of different locations. We get to meet a lot of different characters, and they do it in a way where like you care about each and every character that you meet. It's not rushed.
Okay.
But it can be really dark, and then it can also just be about like, again, the relationships between people. And I don't know, it's just, I got really into it. And I haven't found a show that I've enjoyed this much in a really, really long time.
Oh, wow. That's a big one.
Yeah,
because I know like Buffy's up there on your list as well. But
yes.
Do you think this outclasses Buffy now?
Oh, definitany.
Wow.
Just like Buffy's definitely a classic, but also rewatching it now, I just see how misogynistic and awful it is.
Oh no,
and
sucks.
It's pretty. There's good episodes, but a lot of it's kind of corny, and also Xander's just such an unbearable character that it's hard to watch. And in Walking Dead, Andrea. I think out of every movie and TV show I've watched, she's my least favorite character of all time.
Of all time?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, I know nothing about this character, so what's
Brutal.
their whole deal?
So she's one of the like original cast members. I'm sure the actress is a nice lady, but whenever I see her face, it makes me angry.
It's not bad.
But she's in the first few seasons, and she's just like one of those characters where it's like everyone in the show knows why you shouldn't do something, and the audience knows why you shouldn't do something, and then she does it. And then she cries about it or makes it seem like everyone's against her, but it's like, no, you shouldn't have done that thing.
Yeah.
Like
Victim
every
complex.
episode. Yeah. I'm like, oh my God, Andrea, shut up. So watching her die was awesome.
That's so
I got up and cheered.
Oh no.
It was like that. It almost made me stop watching the show. Like I would get so irritated.
Yeah.
But now I see how it like.
It was like a universal thing for everyone to hate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't have Michonne's character without this character. So
okay.
I see why it works, but I'm also like,
yeah, really made you hate one random person on Earth you've never met.
Yeah.
Actress.
I was like, why are you like this? You play this character too well.
Yeah. So you mentioned like how the show lets characters breathe and has room to like show you who they are. And characters you obviously hate, but is there a character you feel you're most connected with besides Norman Reedus, but like most relatable to you?
Oh shit, I actually don't know.
Okay.
I think that I would relate to Daryl's character the most.
That's fine. I should have thrown that caveat.
He's just very like doesn't want to get close to people because he knows that like inevitably people are gonna die and that got really dark. Ooh,
no, but I like you feel like a little bit closed off from people.
Yeah, I don't mean like me specifically. I mean that like I relate to that part of like pushing people away, and he's just kind of to himself and independent, and I think I relate to that the most.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite Daryl moment?
There's this one bit. It doesn't it doesn't really have to do with the character himself.
Okay.
It was a zombie
like
kill.
A workout montage.
Yes. No, there's this one bit where he's fighting all these walkers, which is what they call the zombies, and he like shoves his fingers in the walker's eyes and rips off the head and uses it to kill another walker. Like he gets nuts.
Yeah. That forearm strength is phenomenal. Yeah, I can see it.
But for most of the show, he's kind of like the silent to himself character. And in the recent seasons, we're seeing more of his personality. So that's nice to see. He got a little love interest at one point. Yeah.
At one point, and then they died tragically.
No, they met in the woods, like away from his group of people.
Okay.
And they were like fell in love, but he kept going back to his people. And she was kind of like, decide where you want to be. Okay. And he's like, I'm going to go see my family. And on his way back to the group, he is like, I made a mistake, and goes back to see her, and she's already gone.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Do you think she'll get brought back at some point?
Oh, absolutely. Okay. For sure. Yeah. They love doing that.
Yeah. So you mentioned that there's some sort of like some of the seasons sort of get a little bit dry or slow. From an outside perspective, I heard that as well as like I think around season like 7 or something. I don't know. It sort of got like, what the hell are we doing here? Yeah. There's Cyborg and he has a tiger and like so do you feel like there was a lull in the show for sure? And how was that watching it like a binge watch opposed to had you have seen it in real time?
There were a few bits that made me kind of not want to continue watching it. I think there's one bit where I genuinely was like, I'm gonna stop watching this show, and it was like 7 or 8 seasons in.
What happened?
So there's a group, one of the villains are this group of people called the Whisperers, and they like wear zombie skins and just try to blend in with the zombies to like
fucking Bill Murray in Zombieland.
Yes.
Awesome.
They're like, we're just gonna live among the walkers because they've taken over the world and we just gotta roll with it, kind of thing.
So the Alberta government, I guess.
But the way that they introduced this group of bad guys, was making it seem like the walkers had evolved and started talking.
Oh.
So they ended this episode with like two of the characters hiding from a bunch of walkers walking by, and then they hear them talking amongst each other. And I was like, fuck this. That's so dumb. I was like, this is awful. But then I was like, I'll watch the next episode and see what happens here. Yeah, the slower parts are because like they'll find places where they can kind of be safe for a while. So like they found like this farm and a prison and then like this little community. And sometimes those bits get a little boring because it's like the whole point of this show is like they're trying to survive this zombie apocalypse, and there's not many zombies. Like this is too safe. Yeah. It's kind of boring. But overall, I think because like every time they find a place that's safe, it ends up not being that safe. But those in between parts kind of are boring.
Fair enough. Okay, I have some questions about memes. So I imagine we were privy to the same memes beforehand. So are a lot of those memes contextualized for you now after watching this show? Like there's the one of I think it's Rick staring at his kid and he's having a freak out. What is that scene? I need to know because all I've seen is the meme.
I know that when Mal and I were watching it, we were like, "That's the meme." I don't. It's in the earlier seasons, but Rick has a lot of meltdowns because he's kind of like in charge of everyone. Like he's the leader.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just him like having a meltdown. I don't remember the exact.
Is that his son? Like the one with the weird hat? Yes,
that's Carl.
Okay.
And that hat is his dad's because he was like a sheriff.
Oh, okay.
I wish I had a better answer. I don't remember the scene exactly. No, I do know that when I watched it though, I was like, that's the meme.
Yeah, you became the Leo DiCaprio on the couch meme. Like, yeah. That's almost better. I don't want to know. Like it's almost better that I don't know. What about were there any things that were spoiled for you going into it? Yes. Sort of like the Lucille, that whole arc with that character. Was that something that you felt was sort of like a letdown because you knew the outcome, or did it live up to it?
Yes and no. So like a pretty main character dies when that character Negan gets introduced.
Right.
And I'd seen memes and people on Twitter freaking out about it when it happened, when it was played on TV. So like I knew that this character was dying, but still seeing it and like getting to know this character for how many seasons was like, holy shit. Yeah, that was the biggest spoiler that I got.
Yeah.
It was just knowing that that character was going to die, but still seeing it was like shocking.
Yeah, for sure. I've heard something once, and I don't know if I believe it's true, but I choose to believe it's true, is that when something gets spoiled for you, it makes you more interested in watching it, or like the reveal becomes like you like it more because you're seeing how it leads up to there. So you're like processing information about why it's going that way. Like it's less surprising, but also you can see the through line, I guess.
That makes sense, but I don't know. If I'm not that interested in something, I will like Google the entire Wikipedia page of something.
Yeah.
Whereas Malachi doesn't even like watching the trailer.
Yeah. So I used to be like Malachi. Like if I hadn't seen something, like don't tell me anything because I want to go into it blind and like enjoy it for like how it was released. Yeah. But now, like even doing this show, there's so many properties I've never heard of that people come and talk to me about. And I just have to like let that all go and be like, I don't know, I'm not going to watch 11 seasons of The Walking Dead. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, I was throwing around names earlier, and then when you asked me about spoilers, I like tried to not say the name.
No. I think if people clicked on this video or episode, they're ready for spoilers. And if they weren't, well, sorry.
Sorry about it.
Okay. I want to know to you, because are you into zombie movies as like a genre?
Funny enough, they're probably like my least favorite supernatural thing.
Oh, okay.
I had no interest in zombies. I was like, they're just kind of gross. And as I got more into horror movies, it still wasn't like my type of movie.
Mm-hmm.
But since starting Walking Dead, I've watched like a bunch of zombie movies, and I quite enjoy it. Like
Do
Train
you
to
have one?
Busan.
Sorry, go ahead.
Train to Busan. I think that's how you pronounce
The
it.
Korean movie, right?
Yeah, fantastic. I don't know if it's I think it's 48 days later or 48 weeks or something. Or that might
28.
be I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of those movies. Super good. But yeah, prior to watching the show, I had no interest in any zombie content. Now, big fan.
Do you have one you think tops The Walking Dead in terms of like just a better story overall, or do you have a favorite zombie?
I don't think I have a favorite zombie.
Okay.
I don't. I like because I like the way that the zombies are in Walking Dead, and I find that every zombie movie and show has like a different perception of how zombies are. Like they're either like really slow and dumb or like stupid fast. And it's interesting to see what they make of that. And also you can make so many different zombies because it's just making something look really gross.
Yeah.
So I like that aspect. It's not
Have
for
you,
everyone though.
yeah. Like I think like I see this debate often, like what's better, like slow, creepy zombies or like the fast moving, like I Am Legend zombies?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, neither. I hate them both.
None.
But yeah, I don't know. How do you feel about zombies as like obviously like it wasn't your favorite genre going into it, but like now that you've taken in some zombie content, what do you think like the the symbolic message of zombies on screen are? Like, do you have any feelings of like what it's supposed to represent?
I'm sure that some movies and shows it's about how we're like rotting our brains with the internet.
Those damn phones.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think that I've been thinking about it a little bit now that we're in a fucking pandemic.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's like we could get to that point because people just don't really care about anyone but themselves.
It starts as a protest outside the hospital and turns into a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah. So waiting for that one, getting prepped, buying canned food.
Nice. What would be your weapon of choice if you were in a zombie apocalypse?
So it would be something. At first my thing was an axe, and I think because I was playing a lot of Left 4 Dead 2, and I liked the idea of like pushing and then also being able to swing.
Right.
But then it was brought to my attention that having to hold something that heavy and having both of your hands being used is probably not the best.
That's a good point. Yeah.
I think a bat is pretty sweet. Or even just little hatchets.
Ooh, like double wielded hatchets.
Yeah.
You can
So if you need to put one down or throw, I'd probably go with hatchets.
Hatchets, nice. My initial thought would be a bow and arrow, but you just said like having both hands, like that would be the worst if you got sort of like pinned down.
Yeah.
Terrible one to have.
And also like you're gonna have to go collect those arrows.
That's very
like
true,
if you're trying to like run away.
The Daryl guy, he uses a crossbow, right?
Mm-hmm.
Has that become an issue for him? No, he just does the finger thing, you said.
Well, yeah. But in these later seasons, because they've like created all these communities and stuff, I think they've started making arrows and weapons, so it hasn't become an issue yet. But we'll see.
Have you ever seen the footage of people who are like auditioning to play zombies
as
like extras? Is that something you think you could do?
No.
Not at all.
No, I don't know what my zombie walk would be.
Yeah, I was gonna ask what your specific one would be. Yeah, I
Like
don't know.
I
Like if
wouldn't
you
want
go
the
with the
generic.
limping leg.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
wouldn't want the generic like just hunched over. Like I want to do something cool.
Yeah.
But I think that being in a room full of people acting like zombies, I would just laugh.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to do
Totally.
it. I'd be like, look at this guy.
Yeah, like bro, you're taking it way too serious. Like all that shouting is way too much.
A lot.
Has this show ever made you cry?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Uh,
Like once or twice or like 10,
multiple
15?
times.
Okay.
A lot of deaths.
Mhm.
Yeah, they'll have characters around every episode for seasons and seasons, and then just kill them, and you're like,
Mhm.
what?
Yeah.
So I've definitely cried a few times. Yeah.
And from that, has there anything you've learned from the show that you've taken with you into your everyday life, or is it just pure entertainment and enjoyment?
Mainly enjoyment, but also don't trust anyone.
Oh no.
If there's a zombie apocalypse, I'm going on my own.
Yeah. Okay, give me your 5-step plan. As soon as the apocalypse starts, what are you doing?
Okay. I'm gonna see if I can contact my family. Otherwise I'll be making my way to them.
Okay.
Gathering all of the canned food, anything out of my pantry, shoving it in a backpack. Just gathering the necessities. Go look for my family. If they're already gone, find a car and just get moving.
Right.
Because it might just be bad where I am.
Yeah.
And then people are warned somewhere else, and then it's better over there. But just keep moving. So that my plan is just to gather my things, look for my family, and then
get all the alphagetti into the bag and then take off. Okay, so I know you said hatchets would be your preferred, but based off the things around you in your home, if the news came on and was like zombie apocalypse, what is the thing in your house that you're grabbing?
I'd probably
or do you have 2 hatchets?
Yes, actually. I probably grab I grab a knife or two, throw it in the backpack, just in case.
Open the canned food.
Yeah. No, yeah. No, but that's a good point. I probably wouldn't bring a can opener, so I gotta.
Yeah.
I don't know that I really have. I'm not athletic. I was trying to think of if I had anything like a hockey stick.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
I'd probably take Malachi's longboard.
Just leave him.
Yeah.
He's got kidding. Long legs. He could run.
I need to get prepared. Yeah, I don't really have anything in my house that I think would make for. Maybe I'd break my wooden chair.
Oh, that's hardcore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really have much that I could use. Thanks for bringing that to my attention.
Yeah, there you go. There's one thing. I went to see Zombieland 2 about a year ago, or whenever it came out. No, more than a year ago. I don't know what time is anymore. But after watching it, I was having a conversation with the person I went with, and they were telling me how they're always prepared for the zombie apocalypse. They've got canned food. And I was like, okay. But then I was like, I am woefully unprepared. So I was on Amazon, looking up bow and arrows and canned food. Yeah. Okay. We're going to move into some other questions here. These are kind of silly, but take your time to answer them. Would you ever get a tattoo of this property? No, just straight up no.
I don't. I don't think there's anything that cool I could think of, because I've seen tattoos for The Walking Dead, and I'm like,
yikes.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I think I'd have to watch through the show one more time before I consider.
Right.
Yeah.
Are you a person that would get tattoos of a fictional property? Is that something that speaks to you?
Well, I have Spider-Man on my arm.
Oh, do you? I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like I have like a movie quote and stuff. I'm open to it, but you have to be tasteful,
Right.
you know. So I don't know what I would get Walking Dead related that is tasteful.
And for the Spider-Man one, is it mostly just like an aesthetic thing? Like I like the way this looks and I like the way it'll look on me. And like I'm happy when I look at it, or is it like Spider-Man means a lot to me? Or like
Spider-Man's always been like my favorite superhero growing up, and my dad and I always went and saw the new Marvel movies in theaters, and we go to comic expos when we can. So yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, like a tasteful sentimental thing.
Mm-hmm.
Love that. Okay. So we know you're in a happy relationship, but in a hypothetical situation, or maybe in past relationships, if you went on a first date with somebody, how likely would it be for you to bring up this show?
I mean, I could probably steer the conversation this way. I think
would you like to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mainly talk about movies and shows because
Yeah.
I mainly watch movies and shows. That's all I do in my free time.
Right.
It's a show that I'd recommend to someone, or just like, even if I'm just talking about like something crazy that happened in it, because there's some crazy shit that goes on.
Nice. This is off topic, but in your latest podcast episode, you said you were interested in starting making like small film projects.
Yeah.
Is a zombie, themed apocalypse type of thing something you'd like to tackle?
Yeah, I think that would be really fun. I'm interested in creating like horror type short films. So I'm definitely interested in making a zombie one at one point. Nice. I'd want to find someone who's into like SFX and all that stuff, so I can make it look really cool. But yeah, definitely.
Cool. If you do that, let me be one of the extra zombies and I'll show you my like sick walk.
Yeah, well, you have to audition. So
cool. How often do you get to talk about it outside of watching it with Mal? Like, did you join the forums?
I follow a couple Walking Dead pages on Instagram, and I've started having people follow me back. Nice. But I haven't really, it's more just looking at the behind the scenes and pictures and stuff, not really interacting with anyone.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't talk about it too much, aside from my podcast where I'm allowed to talk about anything I want. Nice. And my tattoo artist, who is forced to listen to me for however long the tattoo takes, I always talk about Walking Dead with him. So
going into that a little bit deeper, you said like, movies and film are your thing. Are you hesitant to be a part of like fandom groups or join in on like more public sort of discussions about it? Because I know for me, like, if it's like I'm like super into Star Wars, as you know, but like I do not engage with that community because they're all like super toxic and not inviting. Yeah. So do you have like an innate rejection towards that type of thing, or is it just this property alone that you're sort of like,
As someone who's been on like fan Twitter and fan Tumblr, like all through junior high, I find that all of the communities are somewhat not great. There's definitely some that are more toxic than others, but I just don't like being told how to like something, or like that my opinion on something is wrong. And it's just, it gets very aggressive. So like if someone wants to talk to me about Walking Dead online, that's awesome. I'd love to have a discussion, but I don't think that I'd ever get back into being on stan social media.
Okay.
Because it scares me.
Yeah, no, for sure. But I want to do a little exercise with you. So on one of your podcast episodes, you guys talked about fan fiction.
Yeah.
And stuff that, was it you who brought stuff you had actually written onto the show? I can't
Yeah,
remember.
we both did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you had to write a fan fiction, just give me like a pitch of what your fan fiction of Walking Dead would be.
Well, I think obviously I would write myself in as Daryl's love interest. Right. Yeah.
You killed the girl in the woods and started following.
That's why she's disappeared. That's so fucked. Actually, our first episode that we recorded, we had an issue with the audio and couldn't upload it, but I talked about how I got back into reading fan fiction because of The Walking Dead.
Oh, no way.
But hear me out. So it's not like majority of fan fictions, like, imagine you and this character you like being in love. I found one that just like wrote it as if there was another person in the room for certain situations. And so like this person had this secret or just like had a different reaction to something. I don't know. It's like the same story, but like it's written from a different perspective and it's really interesting. So there's some good stuff out there.
Nice. Yeah, I think I bring this up anytime fan fiction comes up, but I watched a podcast where someone was talking about their obsession with fan fiction. And it was like, I have all these like unresolved sexual tensions from things I watched as like a youth. And I need to get that out somewhere. Otherwise, it's just in my mind driving me crazy. So it's just like, I have to write it, you know?
Yeah.
I don't share that same, I don't know what the word would be, frustration, I guess, for that. But that totally makes sense to me why most fan fiction is anchored in that, resolution. But I do like the, this is off topic too, but I rewatched the Twilight movies recently with my girlfriend, and I just realized that there's a separate Twilight book, all from Edward's perspective.
Yeah.
But it's by the real author. What the fuck have you read this?
I haven't read it, but I know it's called Midnight Sun, I think.
Yes. Yeah. So you're talking about fan fiction that's more like that, like alternate perspective. Okay.
Did you know that 50 Shades of Grey started out as a fan fiction about Twilight?
You're kidding.
Allegedly. I'm like 99.9% positive.
I believe
but I've read it multiple times.
50 Shades or Twilight.
No. I've read that online.
Okay, good thing we clarified that. Okay, if you could live in the Walking Dead world, I know you'd like to write yourself to Norman Reedus, but if we could actually take Brittany and put you in the Walking Dead world where you have to fend for your life, is that something you would actually be interested in? Or is it just like a hypothetical zombie apocalypse you want to prepare for?
Like, write me into the show or write me into an actual apocalypse?
No, that's like your real life now. Like you die.
That sounds kind of exciting. If things play out the same way in the show, I'm prepared for them. So
okay. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
What would you change? Like, if there were certain events in the show that you could be present for, would there be anything that you like step in and like, I'm going to stop this thing from happening?
Multiple things. Not taking certain people into the group. And avoiding certain areas. I'll just be like, maybe we shouldn't go over there. Yeah.
Fair enough. Would there be, if you could only choose one character to save, which one would you choose?
I think Michonne.
Oh, she dies? No.
Oh, no. I thought you meant, like someone that's already died?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, big spoiler. Carl, who is Rick's son.
So is that meme seeing him dying?
No.
He's just, I don't think so. Okay.
I think that's earlier in the show, but yeah, he gets bit because was helping some guy who was being attacked by a bunch of walkers because he was a nice little boy.
Oh, yeah.
And that was it. Just it was sad. It was really sad.
Yeah. And how old is the character in the show?
I think at that point he was like 16 or 17.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But that one was it was tough to watch. I mean, there's like a handful though that I think I cried at. Yeah, they're all pretty sad, except for Andrea.
That one was a jump up off the couch.
Yes.
So again, we know this is like a relatively new interest for you, but if I told you could never talk about it, you could never watch it, you could never, I don't know if there's other media for this, like video games or anything, but you couldn't consume anything Walking Dead. I guess there's the comic, right? You can't read the comic either. How much money would it take for you to agree to that?
Well, first of all, I'd be like, Matthew, why are you gatekeeping?
Yeah. Just for a sick social experiment for a podcast.
I don't know, because honestly, when I started watching it, I was going through a phase where I wasn't really enjoying anything. And it kind of got me excited about like TV and like possibly creating something. So I'd probably pay a good sum of money.
Enough money to start your own film career, like right off the bat.
Yes.
So we're talking like millions then.
Yeah, I suppose.
Okay. Good. I like when people have a high number on this show. It makes me happy. I don't know. It means nothing. I'm a person who hates like on social media where it's like, would you rather take, $500,000 or dinner with Jay-Z? Like, I'm always like, I'm not fucking answering because neither of these things is ever going to happen.
Yeah.
And me like, wrapping my head around which one is better is just a waste of time.
But also you could probably take some of that money and pay Jay-Z to have dinner with you if you really wanted.
True too. At least get him to do a cameo or something.
Yeah.
But, yeah. But so I don't know why I asked this question. Just I would hate to answer it, but I like when people put a high number, just in case any sick billionaire is watching and they want to like test you.
They're like, yeah, really?
Yeah. So this next question, we've talked a little bit about, but if I don't know who makes this. It's Skyline Entertainment that makes The Walking Dead. I know this a weird way. I don't know how I know that, but I do. They do this other show I watch. But if they came to you and were like, we saw this podcast, we think you'd be great to do this, short anthology spin-off series of it's called Near The Walking Dead. Is that something you would take on?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I figured out that I don't have too much of an interest in being in front of the camera. I've was in theater in high school, and I was like sure that I wanted to be an actress, but I have like incredible anxiety and I hate doing anything in front of anyone.
Oh, no,
like auditioning for anything is just like a nightmare. But I also know that like if an opportunity came like that, I would suck it up and just maybe get stoned before recording every episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool.
What sort of flavor or new things would you inject into it to make it more interesting?
I don't know. I would add something to the walkers, not talking, because I think that's dumb. I don't know. Can I get back to you?
Yeah, sure. I'll let the people know.
I'll leave a comment.
Yeah. Save your ideas for when you go on to make the next installment of this.
Yeah, I don't want you to steal all my ideas, Matthew.
Ideas. Damn it. Big X through my script now.
You're taking notes.
Yeah. God damn it. Well, yeah, I think if you have any final thoughts, if people should watch this show or something to leave us with.
Yeah, I recommend it. I think it's even a show, even if you can't make it through the entire thing, because it is a lot. The first like 4 seasons are really awesome. And there's some like really great actors and actresses. And Robert Kirkman's just he's wrote the comic books.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's just incredible. He also wrote Invincible, which is also incredible. Honestly, if you don't watch Walking Dead, watch Invincible, and then it might make you want to watch Walking Dead.
That's interesting because I have seen Invincible and I loved it.
Yeah, so like the gore and the writing, good soup. Nice. I don't know. I really, if you don't like gory things, probably not for you. But outside of the really gross stuff, there's some good storylines and character arcs, and I don't know. I really like it.
Nice.
Big fan.
Love that. So if people want to talk to you about The Walking Dead or where people can find your podcast, let us know.
Yeah, so you can find us on like any social media under the Lonelycast or Lonelycast Pod, I think, on Twitter. And if you want to talk to me personally, my Instagram is WineMomBrittles, and my Twitter, my Twitter is Brittles99.
Right.
I don't know. Send me a DM if you want to talk about Walking Dead, because I would love to.
Nice. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. If you want to come back and talk about something else, just let me know. For people watching, you can find this show every other Friday. And in place of this show on the Fridays where it doesn't come out, you can find us either playing D&D or reviewing a book. And every single Tuesday, we do a show about some obscure thing to do with fantasy and sci-fi. And you can check all that fun stuff out here at Lords of Lore. Brittany, thanks again.
Thanks for having me. Bye.